is done, then get ready for work.
Alright, so, with that being the case, where the hell is the rolling? Okay, good. At least put it back
Yeah,
there.
how would have been so much worse if I blinded him.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. So,
Yeah, then you see Miss Queen up there. It's like,
I mean, I would be like, "Oh, maybe the queen would get dissed," but with how high she rolls consistently, it wouldn't fucking matter. She's
nope,
just a massive
nope,
monster.
nope. Because all of them are rolling high until the next section where we had the battle.
yep.
Jeez.
So, with that being the case, we will skip ahead, because eventually, you guys did sail back to Argento, go quite literally take a very long sleep. As you guys were informed that it would take at least at bare minimum a day or two before the meeting would commence once again, this time about the after action of report. In the meantime, they said for you all just to rest up, as most of you guys, well, as the majority of those that were in the fight, whether directly with the matriarch and the shot or outside, dealing with the death claws, and the Phantom Fleet, let's call it, were quite literally grievously injured. So there were at least some time that needed to be recuperated. In the
I
meantime,
have a question.
shoot.
You're talking about a time skip.
Yes.
Can I time skip to that prison that my friend is in?
Oh
Oh,
I will.
do we need to go with her
I
looking
will.
at everyone
I
else?
will preface this. You would once during your downtime, you would try to go back over there. You would again meet with the same person, and he just looks at you and says, "Ma'am, how many times must I repeat myself? Aside from those from high above, you will be the next person to be known to be allowed to at least visit the professor, Ulysses. However, he is still in a coma and he is, in all senses, he is alive, but he is just not there at all.
May
We
I
have
visit
used
him while he's in
everything,
the...
ma'am. Must I remind you what
Yeah, right.
happened the last time you
Gulp.
insisted? I'm being very polite here. I have even been kindly persuaded by the individual known as... Fuck, what was his name again?
that's a great question.
I forgot his fucking name. I forgot the point that essentially, where the fuck is IT? God, this. I have too many people in my fucking DN. Oh god. Oh, it has to be in recently latest modified. It has to be latest modified, right? Right? Yeah, probably not. Beats. Yeah. 1 second. He's probably in here, isn't he? 1 second, everyone. I just need to remember who the hell his name is. Nope, not them, not them, not you, definitely not you. Man, don't you just love my professionalism in DMing? 10 out of 10. Hmm.
yes, that guy. There we go.
What guy? I don't know that guy. That guy's over something. Oh,
My
that guy up
siblings came
there.
into my room. So yeah. Great, now I have to and I have to close my door. I can't just leave my door open. Right, Zaraneth. Fuck, that's his name. Zaraneth quite literally, in as gently as he could, persuaded me not to be so blunt. Now again, would you kindly leave? If you wish to see him, you can. However, you are not allowed to go inside. Is that alright? Can I at least, if I were to at least let you see him, would you just go and wait till we send for you?
Yeah, that works.
Alright. You
Pal.
four, take her down here. Matter of fact, leave all your equipment here. Anything that you have on you, we will put it somewhere. I will personally hold on to it. Just give me everything. I won't steal it. I won't take it. Just give me everything.
Toby's just gonna kind
I give
of
him everything but
there
the
'cause-
monocle.
Oh my
I'm just
god,
over here, like,
he
Karen.
has way too much stuff on him. He's gonna be there for an hour.
Yeah. You see that he just looks at you and says, just put it in this box.
I'm just looking at the cast like,
Prescription.
how the fuck do you have so much on you?
Just put.
Oh, I
Alright,
can't
instead
say
of you
anything.
four, you two go with them as well. But yeah, after you guys took the majority of your things out, with Tofu being the longest, as the
Yeah.
guards quite literally waited till he put everything in the box. As you guys were all escorted down, Pandora, as per the norm,
Mhm.
your monocles do not work. Because remember,
Oh my.
the jail cell, well, the jail inside has anti-magic in it.
It sure did.
But as you guys were all guided in there, this time with 6 escorts from the guards, as you took a glance at the cell, which it is a little bit more nicer than the cell that he originally was in, you do see that he seems to be, at least from the looks of it, being guarded by 4 additional guards. 2 of them on either side of the cell, while the other 2 were inside, but this time without any of their, weapons not too far away from them. But as you could appear, he does seem to be in some sort of bed of sorts. A bit nicer than his old bed, but still, it's a medical prison bed. He still seems to be alive, just not really conscious.
Okay. I'm gonna go to him. And I was gonna say, hey man, you probably can't hear anything, but I'm hoping this brings you some satisfaction. We killed the bitch. I just wanted to let you know, working on getting you up, so that's still happening. Yeah. It's just gonna kind of like stare for a few seconds of like, I'm assuming there's nothing else of note.
Nope. Just really that he's in a nicer cell, because obviously he is quite literally in a coma, so of course they want to make sure that he's alive, physically alive. Mentally, they're doing the best they can, but there's only so much you can do, especially if it's something that seems to be otherworldly, so to speak.
Just say, well, killed the bitch. Hope you're sleeping well. Sometimes I wish it was me. Anyway, see you when you wake up, bestie. And with that, she's gonna leave.
They begin to escort you, and we'll fast forward as before you guys leave, you do notice that Zernev, he seems to be almost waiting for you guys as you guys are going back to the Vanguard Guild over in Kronos, as he's waiting for you guys at the door. As he just looks at you all and says, I can only assume that, considering how that pain in the ass guard captain so
Yeah.
nicely told me that you guys visited again. No?
Looks at Pandora. She wanted to visit.
Let's say hi.
I know, but sadly enough, especially with how things have been going around here lately, especially since they've been asking me to be a bit more of going out in part of their military expeditions to clear out the wildlife. Things aren't normal, so to speak.
Oh,
Yeah. Despite the fact that I know the Vanguard is doing their best, even the Empire is, well, even Kronos has taken a bit more militaristic action to try to stem what has been happening. Especially when it comes to more of the Gorgon crystal incidents, whether it be people having possession of them or just creatures somehow ingesting them and becoming corrupted. But other than that, I just wanted to make sure that you were all alright. A couple of the more friendlier Vanguard members informed me a little bit of what's been going on with you all.
You've been busy, but we made it out in one piece, mostly.
By the skins of our teeth most of the time.
Oh, that's at least good. Either way, I just wanted to at least talk to you guys for a little bit before I have to go back on another expedition. Be safe out there.
You too.
And you see that he then just goes off and walks to what seems to be another gathering of, this time what seems to be mainly Kronos Imperial soldiers. As they then, with Zernev, decide to go, or beginning to just walk over towards the gates. We will then fast forward again, as throughout this essentially break from you guys going back, you guys do get to see what seems to be a preliminary report. Just at a glance, it's essentially been telling things of what's essentially been going on, from both how the island, despite it still being roughly geologically the same as it was before, when it comes to a couple of the more geological experts, along with those, along with magical researchers that were essentially requisitioned to essentially investigate this temporal island, it does seem to have a mixture of both what it was back during the War of Corruption, which they're untoo sure if it is, because, well, again, that was an active war going on back then, so not a lot of people were really paying attention to the geological, happenings, especially when it comes to such a small island. But there is what seems to be a interesting bit that piques everyone's interest. That being of a small little bit of a rather informal paragraph by the artificer, as he just puts, as usually he would address himself as the artificer, but right next to it he just has artificer dash Max,
I'll look it up.
as he would make a rough summary of what he's essentially found out just from a little bit, saying that there does seem to be what seems to be a bit more discrepancies between both the natural magic and the what is now being dubbed temporal effect, as he has noted that seems to be roughly the exact same effect that happened back over when you guys, the Gravekeepers, along with the Platinum Shield, when you guys were essentially helping him out to go and take care of the Keeper and his essential dome. He has mentioned that both the temporal shift in the region seems to be through what seems to be origins of Dark Gorgon Crystal, either magic related substance or some sort of mechanism, along with what seems to be a bit more of the forbidden or more taboo-ish ideas that most researchers have done. That in particular, he would then go to talk about how even when it comes to the Deathclaws that were slain, especially the Deathclaw that was called the Deathclaw Matriarch, the biggest one, she seemed to be a bit more, how should I say this, experimental. As even from when he first arrived there, he has noticed that a lot of people who was in the rough vicinity of her for too long was slowly getting weaker and weaker, and even getting a bit more exhausted. So they've had to quite literally go and essentially go in shifts, with only those either approved by the artificer or even himself going in there every couple of minutes, but having to go and back out with the to recover with the assistance of people that had the ability to cast Greater Restoration. And even then, he doesn't really recommend the immediate dissection of the Deathclaw Matriarch by the Vanguard till he figures out a way to properly dismantle her without causing unknown damage or harm to others around.
Interesting.
But he does put that he will try to have a bit more of a detailed report when he's done. This is just really the first couple of hours of investigation. That the final report should be hopefully done by the time the next meeting happens.
Yay.
Okay.
The interesting materials that maybe we could use from it.
But regardless of the fact, is there anything else you would like to do?
Really? To be honest?
I mean,
I
I'm
have no idea
good.
besides rest.
I don't really have anything to do, really. I mean, that check up on, like, my group. That's pretty much it.
His troop.
Ah, you mean the other, essentially leaders that you've quite literally forced them to bend the knee?
Oh, I don't know about forced. It's
Beat them in submission.
That's a strong term.
There's no strong term about it. It's more like beat into submission.
I wouldn't use such a suggestive term. It's a cultural thing. You won't understand.
No, no.
It's more like you beat them black and blue and made them listen.
Okay, you could definitely, yeah, you definitely can get in contact with them. Some of them seem to roughly do their operations surrounding the in Argento, of course with special permission by Hal. As you would talk to a couple of them, they have been. Would you just talk to them sometimes with a couple of them? Well, maybe one or two of them, or even all three of them? Because again, sometimes they, they do their own missions to get stronger themselves. Because, while you essentially are the one who defeated them by rightful combat, they still have to at least, pull their own weight around. Because Hal doesn't raise no bitches.
Oh.
Exactly.
But he
I
does.
mean, look at me.
But they do mention that back at their essentially home tribes, while the majority of their fellow tribesmen are still close, there does seem to be a couple of them that have disappeared. While some of it is when it comes to disappeared, it's either that they haven't been in contact with any of their fellow tribesmen, because some of these individuals are either either huntsmen, merchants, because again, they have to at least trade one way or another. If they don't trade, they usually keep to themselves. But it does seem that they are a bit more nervous. Especially
Okay.
since a lot more. The real main individual that seems to. How should I say this? Be the one of note is that of the Dragonborn that has deep hatred towards you.
Yeah.
As there does seem to be couple more spottings of him here and there, but they've never really been able to catch him for whatever reason.
Okay. I mean, I'll just tell my group to try to stay bigger groups if they can, and then just let me know if they have any more information about the guy that's kind of has a hate border for us. So.
Consider they all nod, and they they do say that they are trying to get a couple of their more of those that have essentially were fellow candidates before they were ultimately chosen to essentially follow them, or if not follow them, if they're too important to if they're too important to either follow them or to just have a higher vigilance. Other than that,
Okay.
we will fast forward to the meeting. As I know I only have Will for so long.
Yeah.
The meeting... Let me just pause the music real quick, because I don't think I have...
Meeting music.
Yeah. But obviously those that were there from the previous meeting are there now. And a couple of discussions are made. Most of them seem to be in regards to the fact that obviously the death claws that were defeated were quite literally were either dissected or investigated more at the temporal island. There has been talks, especially with that of Blanco, the friendlier Death Claw, and his pack members, to essentially try to free those that are still alive.
Makes sense.
Well, some people were a bit skeptical. Obviously, some of them were a bit more, like, no, kill them all. Obviously, when it comes to, your boy, what was his name again? Fuck, I forgot. Bart. He's essentially was for them at least being freed, especially those that are, that were essentially captured because they were comatose after, the Space Kasha was defeated. As he essentially came up with a compromise of, hey, if we have more of the death clause on our side, rather than them being, out loose, hunting, out in the wild, they'll at least be a bit of another additional force to help out in whatever's been going on around Ianala itself. There will be a couple of back and forth, but there will ultimately be a final report. Well, talking a bit more, with more information about more of the temporal island, essentially being found out that the island itself, who the fuck knows? Yeah, but from the sounds of it, the temporal stream that's happening around the island, it does seem to have diminished, but for right now, the consensus is that the island itself will be protected by a joint task force of the Ianalan governments from both Agrento, the Empire, Kronos, Heart, and the Theocracy. As well, this isn't exactly within anyone's borders. This is more of a international waters type of situation, and it's better to have, at least a joint unit of volunteers that could go and make sure that nothing else is happening on the island, as there does seem to be a lot more investigators being sent trying to figure out more, especially when it comes to the Deathclaw matriarch, who seems to have been more genetically engineered than the others. This would ultimately lead to the final thing for the meeting, with this now being essentially as more of the more, because this meeting isn't just with those representatives. There are a couple more people there, from note takers from the Vanguard to even more like officials or other people of higher power for each of the countries. Once the meeting would be dismissed, quote unquote, only those that were in the meeting before, namely just the representatives and each of the leaders along with your group and that of the, I forgot the other group's name. Fuck. Oh fuck, I had it right there. Shit, dumbass. Fuck. Ah shit, I just had it there. Yeah. Along with those of the peacekeepers, of the peace bearers rather, led by Sierra, they would essentially have this unofficial meeting in regards to the planned ambush. And you see that Sierra seems to be leading most of the discussion, as she has, with the help of both the Theocracy and Eve, with the Theocracy, they have essentially put a bit of a trap. Both her and some of her members, some of her peace bearer groups, have gone to the more seedier side of Ianala to try to have these rumors that there seems to be a shipment of rather powerful Gorgon crystals, but it hasn't been really just put out there. It's been hinted at. It's been tried. It's been made to be as anonymous as possible from where the source really came from. Asir would eventually say, "Well, eventually, I would like to at least take both my group along with the Gravekeepers to find a potential spot to set up this ambush on the route. I don't doubt that there's really going to be anywhere that could be potentially used against us, because it could be done either before it even leaves to it being at the tail end of it at any point in time. I do want to at least make it be as viable as possible without compromising anyone's safety. What say you, Gravekeepers?
I think that it is going to compromise someone's safety no matter what.
There it is.
I don't think I've felt safe ever since I joined this group, so
We're safer together, if anything.
True. Whenever you guys have the
We're talking
time.
about taming these. Talking about using these death claws. Do we even know if you can control them? How would you use them?
You see
well, we
that
did find the rods before that I gave it to Hal.
you see that Blanco, he's still there. He's just been essentially almost in a way seated, so to speak.
Shot in the wall.
Yeah. But he just looks at you all and says, I can try my best to maintain control. However, I'd much rather them not have that accursed rod in their head.
I would agree. Free will is usually a better guarantee.
Besides, worst case scenario, they try to fight me, and well, while I may not be the strongest, I am at least a lot more skilled than my other pack. For them, everything is about a show of strength when it comes to us. I think it may just be more of a genetical thing given to us by birth. If need be, I am willing to stay wherever you all deem worthy or deemed acceptable to attempt this.
Yeah, we can do a trial run.
It's always best.
I don't want to be. If I'm going into a fight and those monsters are coming up from behind me, I want to know that I can trust them not to rip my head off.
Very understandable. And agreeable.
So I guess if we have the time to do so, we try to capture one of them and see what you can do.
Thing is, we already have a few that were brought back in chains. Well, they aren't
Oh, perfect.
really. How should I say it? Awake. A couple of them should at least be waking up soon. Or just rather to have the rod outside and we can attempt to go and persuade them to join my pack. If not, to at least be willing to help us out.
Mm-hmm.
See, Asir,
Yeah, give it Give it a shot. Yeah.
See, Sierra then just seems to be almost like thinking about something and says, "Well, no doubt, whatever. I know how most people generally are. And the very fact that we brought back very large cages, well, I can only doubt that the Vanguard and everyone else tried to be as low key about it as possible. Okay, sorry.
Yawn.
I don't
yawn.
doubt that there will probably be some rumors by others that spread that the Vanguard has brought some sort of large beast. If anything, if we can have at least some of these Death Claws be friendly to us, we can essentially have them be with the convoy as a way to entice them, so to speak. Besides, as much as I know that whatever guards are sent there, I would much rather have as much backup as humanly possible. There has to be some sort of bait at least, and well, from how I've seen how most of things have happened when it comes to Gorgon crystals and those who plan to hijack them from convoys, either some of them are really stupid or they are very prepared to take heavy losses, but to come out with a bigger paycheck with the amount of Gorgon crystals they try to take. None of them have really been largely successful, but you do see that she then takes out what seems to be files. As she takes them out, she then begins to pass out papers from each of them. As at a glance, just from looking of it, it seems to be, well, the main one seems to be that of a report of a quote unquote failed Gorgon crystal heist. There are a couple of things that are highlighted. As Sierra then says, most of these, well, they may not be really, how should I say this, eye-opening of it actually being a successful Gorgon crystal heist. A couple of these, upon more further investigation, both my part and that of my group, have come to realize that some of these Gorgon crystals were essentially replaced. They are still giving off the exact same sort of feeling as if they were the Gorgon crystals that were replaced, but after a while they seem to just fade away. Now, this may just be me just overthinking it, but in my line of work, especially what we've been charged with, there doesn't seem to be something coincidental. Especially since they seem to have happened in the past couple of months or so. But then again, this is just me saying it. But other than that, that's all I really would like to report about this ambush that we're setting up. If anyone has any other questions, me and my team will try to do our best to go and fill out more of the information. Gravekeepers, you are more than welcome to come and find us, as I believe we have been given a temporary residence here till it is time to do the ambush.
Alright.
Interesting and useful.
You see that Olivia says,
Question.
Mhm.
And then the question is when the ambush will begin. That's the only question left.
Well, in question, we have maybe about 3 days. Right now, we're just trying to give a bit more. How should I say this? Breathable information. I mean, believable information.
Readable.
Believable.
Mm.
Believable information to make it at least worthwhile. Especially when it comes to that of the smiling one. To see if maybe they are inclined. It
I
was
don't think
just.
we're gonna
Hmm?
real information on that guy. Everything about him seems to be a fucky mess. I don't think it's gonna be real easy to get decent information on that guy.
Smiles. More. That is true.
Yeah. You see
Nothing about him makes sense.
Go on.
No, that was just the end of
Hmm.
that one.
So you're just now. It says, yeah, I've been trying to build a case file on him with whatever information I could gather, but it's really been an enigma with that creature or individual. We just really hope that when the ambush happens, the smiling one is at least one of the individuals that try to attend this heist. If not, it will just be us having to protect a convoy of Gorgon crystals from those that are really desperate or, as I mentioned before, really stupid. Or a mixture of everything, I guess.
Hey, what's this convoy for anyway again?
You see that she then looks
You
at
mentioned
Lev
Orcon crystals.
yeah. She then looks at Levmia. Levmia then just the High Countess then looks at you and says, remember how you all wanted to be this time on the offensive when it comes to the Resurgency and their usual shenanigans? Well, MO. Well, this was quite literally what you guys proposed to me. Trying to set up some sort of ambush that we laid out so that we can at least take care of one of their lieutenants. Especially when it comes to the smiling one, because I can only assume that that individual is working with the Resurgency in one shape or form. As for the actual convoy, there won't really be much. There'll be maybe enough to be believable because, well, just with a simple casting of detect magic, someone would try to figure out if it was real or not, the convoy. We want to make it as believable as possible. There is, however, going to be one Gorgon crystal of major importance that was essentially given at no risk, but the implications of it being lost is dangerous. I believe the Pope can give you more information about that one, as it seems to be something that he was willing to give. As the individual in question is Pope Cassiorn, which, for those who don't know, let me quickly go and yeah, that's who the Pope is. The leader of the theocracy.
The Pope.
Yep. You see, he then stands up. He says, quite out, High Countess. The Gorgon crystal that the theocracy is willing to give for this cause is a Gorgon crystal that we found. The Gorgon crystal itself is a light Gorgon crystal that, while not entirely pure, is being transported at least over to here to Argento itself in hopes of being further purified, as I do believe that the individual known as the Artificer has some sort of purification device that he's been working on. And we would wish for him to try to purify this like Gorgon crystal in hopes that it could bring more of its splendor and magical attributes. If it could be brought up, that would be wonderful, as one of our own like Gorgon crystals are starting to give out, which is a bit concerning. However, don't expect the fact that this being a lesser like Gorgon crystal doesn't mean that it doesn't hold some sort of power. I myself have tested out the power of the like Gorgon crystals in all of its aspects, whether it be the highly purified form of it to even the very muddled versions. And they are powerful in their own right. If they were to fall to the wrong hands, Ball only knows, along with the new gods, what would happen. With that being the case, I don't doubt that both the convoy, which I hope to be everyone here in accordance, at least when it comes to the governments, can at least lend some sort of assistance. I could lend some of my own personal guard to be part of this convoy. As again, this is of rather importance to us. You see that the other leaders and saying that they'll, send support in whatever way they can to help make sure that this doesn't happen. But the High Council saying, well, if that's everything, I believe this is meeting adjourned for now, or at least the end of this meeting. Hopefully, the next meeting will be the good news that the Smiling One has been taken care of. Or at least been maimed heavily, enough that they shouldn't be a problem. Everyone have a good day. As you see that she then begins to leave, as everyone else then also begins to leave to their own respective areas. With that being the case, Will, you have to go soonish, right?
Yeah.
Alright. With that being the case, I know this is quite literally a 2-hour session, but with that, I think we can end it there.
Just the information dump.
Quite literally just the information dump. And again, I believe, let me just double check. Yeah, because I do see that. Yeah, you guys did get a level up. It's just really Priscilla, Dan, and Mithril that haven't gotten their level up yet.
Yeah.
So let me just go at the announcements.
You're putting up their levels later.
The ones that still need to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure, you guys are
I
at
know.
level. If I can properly type this shit without level 17.
So I'm taking a guess. Next session will be what, on a Friday? Or this weekend?
No, it'll be this weekend. I will figure out more if I have to do anything when it comes to my siblings. I may or may not. Who knows? We'll figure it out when it comes
Yeah.
to that.
Let me know if it's gonna end up being on a Friday this week or if it's gonna be straight
No,
to the weekend.
It'll be the weekend. It'll be weekend.
That's all I was making sure because I have to work this Friday.
Yeah. Again, it'll be again as per usual, either Saturday or Sunday. This recording will be posted up in a bit. But other than that, that's the end of session.
I will talk to you guys later. I have to get going.
Take it easy, everyone.
Have a good day at work, or night at work, I guess.
You guys.
My day is everyone else's day.